I have been reflecting, like I always get really thinky at the end of every year. So I spend a lot of time thinking about what I did right, what I did wrong, all those things. And a problem, you've been coaching me for 10 years, and a problem I've always had is to default to the effort thing, which
Right.
is what you defaulted to, right?
Yes.
Last year. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm saying 3 hours a day to do these other things that I don't usually. I do them, but I do them not with a deliberate, not deliberately and not intentionally. And that
Right.
just means, it actually means slowing down, which is really hard. Slowing down, thinking, and then they're not necessarily things that you can say, I did this, so I got this. Like
Right.
I worked out and now the next day I'm sore. I did this and so this happened. So there's a weird thing. Like we had acquired the most clients we ever have last year by, so in a COVID year, right?
Right.
By over 20%. Like I think it's
Right.
like 22% more clients, more households than we did the previous year, which was the highest before last year. And this year we're on a trajectory to be up exponentially over that. Like
Right.
it's really odd. And I'm definitely busy, but that's because we've got new employees and we're kind of all in the mix right now. But I'm finding it very interesting that the natural inclination to do the hard work part is actually not what's going to make the progress. And then it's a whole different, it's like the opposite version of discipline. Like my lazy is being really busy,
Right.
and now realizing that maybe me being super busy with these lower level things is not the right thing. It's to take a breath and move up in the things I'm thinking about. Could you speak to that? It sounds like a parallel, but a little different, obviously a different setup.
And I think that's I mean, I think that's a key thing. And I think why you had such a great year last year and even the start to this year is because you did the work the whole year. And
Yeah.
so we know a lot of people in the business that, it's COVID, they're not going to have people in the office. I'm just going to shut down. Like they didn't keep the system going. They shut down the engine and didn't turn it back on and are now wondering why the battery's dead and the fuel's bad. I think again, one of the gifts of COVID and us kind of being stuck at home, right, not doing the trips and all the stuff we would normally do, is the blessing and the curse is reflection. And when you start looking at what you're doing, you realize, at least I do, and probably you do too, is 80% of what I'm doing, I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
But I can do it, right? And
I like that one. I'm writing that down.
got out of, yeah, I got out of the habit of delegation because in my head, I was thinking, well, everyone's having a hard time. Before COVID, I didn't care if everyone else was having a hard time, like game up. But I wouldn't make the excuses for myself, but I would accept the excuses from others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when you realize, to the earlier point about you can't do things the way that you did them before, you should look at them and go, okay, true. What was I doing before that I shouldn't have been doing anyway? And so, like research, right? We now have research getting done overseas
Mm-hmm.
for basically the equivalent to $8 an hour. And this is master level research that we are paying 30, 40, $50 an hour for, and would have never thought about doing that except access to labor was unavailable. And so you go, well, what else can I do? And so now spending less, getting more responsibility on our part, and they load the gun for us to shoot. And I think with you and me, we are so used to gaming up and going, if it's hard, I will outwork it.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, and the practice now is, it's hard. How do I make it easy? So not gaming up to the level of difficulty, but
Mm-hmm.
trying to undercut the difficulty to make it easier. And that's, I think, a sign of maturity. And this is working out, right? Like a friend of mine who helped me get through that first 10K is he said, which obviously makes sense and probably everybody but me knows, your body gets healthier on the recovery, not on the workout.
Right.
And so I would think, if I want to walk the Camino, I'm just going to walk 30 or 40 kilometers a day with a heavy pack. And that's not the play because you get hurt, you're off for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you got to start again.
Right.
And so his whole thing was, because I took a long time off of the long walks, not the short walks. And he's like, no pack in 2020. Like, don't bring anything, your phone, so you can listen to music and that's it. And I did. And he's like, and don't do the 30 or 40s, do the 5 and then take 5 days off in between and then do 6. And I'm like, what's that going to do? Well, what it did is it made me way stronger. And so it's some type of friggin' black magic.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is don't make it harder. You need to become smarter, which is not, when you're used to outworking people, you don't have to be smarter. You can just outwork them.
And that's easy too. But the problem with that is time.
Right.
Like, you only have so much time. So and there's only one you. So you really have to learn to delegate. You have to learn to you have to get a little bit wider so that you can, what you've done with your other coaches, what I've done with other advisors, you can't, I can't have, I think it was 2017 that I averaged like 25 appointments a week myself personally.
Right.
You can't prepare for all those, be present. Now, I remember a Thursday night when I went to call my dog and didn't remember her name.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, hey, like there might be a problem here.
Yeah.